Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Find us everywhere on social media at Jester_Dooms. Check out the website, www.jestersvoice.com. While you're there, leave me an audio message. All right. So, first off, let me say happy morning, ladies and gentlemen, or if you're waking up in the evening, happy evening, or if you're going to work at night and you're on the night shift, happy night shift. It is January 14th, Wednesday, January 14th, 2026, and it's hump day. You're halfway through the week, and you're making it. You're doing the damn thing. You are there. I hope everybody had a lovely Tuesday. My Tuesday was spent most of the day in the excavator and not accomplishing everything I wanted to do for the day. But if you caught me live on the TikTok in the excavator, had some good conversations with some people that were passing through. No one really sticks around for those lives in the excavator. I think it's kind of boring for some people. You know, you're just watching me scoop dirt and dump the dirt and scoop the dirt and dump the dirt. But some people, they find it intriguing, especially when you're trying to like dig out a big rock or dig out a tree stump or something. They're like, ooh, is he going to get it? Oh, what's the outcome going to be? So I don't know, but I still enjoy doing it because it helps occupy my mind while I'm live or while I'm in the excavator. Like, because the monotony of scoop, dump, scoop, dump, scoop, dump, scoop, dump, like your brain will get fried. So I need a little bit of extra mental stimulation, and that provides it. Now, one thing that does help, that if I'm not running live, is like listening to a podcast or something while I'm running the machine. But even then, it's still not so great, right? And I found that the only thing that really truly keeps my mind from going to 100% numb zone or Bozoville is listening to like one song that I really like just on repeat and singing along pretty much the whole time. So anyway, moving on from that, I appreciate the people that came in the live yesterday and helped keep my sanity going. Let's see what else went on. We went out for a lovely dinner yesterday. I pretty much fasted the whole day. Then we went for a dinner in the evening, which is good. You know, no complaints on the dinner side of things. Posted a bunch of stupid videos on TikTok, so go check those out at Jester_Dooms if you're not already checking me out over there. And I'm trying to think what else. Let's see. The It's Doomsday podcast is back. If you've been living under a rock, go check that out. Go check out the It's Doomsday podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast. It's important that you do that because it's back. And we don't know for how long. This is it. We're riding this one until the wheels fall off. So if it's a situation where the co-host decides in 3 weeks that he doesn't want to be a co-host anymore, it's done. It's over. Pulling the plug. If he decides, hey, we're going to ride this out for the next 5 years, fucking A. Cool. Awesome. But I mean, this is it. This is the last hoorah. So get out and listen to these episodes absolutely while you can, because shit could hit the fan tomorrow. And if it does, and he says I'm out and I say I'm out or whatever, it is not coming back. I got a lot of feedback recently about the show coming back. I wouldn't say a lot of feedback. I got a handful of messages from people saying, hey dude, I'm glad to see the show's back. I'm glad to see it's alive again, or, you know, whatever the case may have been. What's really interesting about people is that they bitch and whine and cry for something excessively, and then they get it and they have no acknowledgement for happiness. Since the show slowed down over the last year, you know, when we got hit with Helene, it really put a wrench in the gears for, you know, us doing our event we were hosting and the show. And it really just, it fucked everything up. And with that, losing a co-host and just it all kind of went to shit, and trying to juggle things at work and whatnot were a big pain in the nuts as well. So it's just like, you know what? Like, as of now, this all needs to get put on hold. And it kind of just fizzled over a year. But in that year's time, I had multiple people reach out saying, hey, when's there going to be another episode? Hey, when is the show coming back? Getting emails, Dooms, where have you been? Like, there was things happening in the background that really suggested that people wanted it to come back. And now it's back, and the messages I've received from people do not equate to the messages I received from people who were like, hey, what's going on? When's it coming back? I missed the show, blah, blah, blah. So what do you do with that? You know, it's very frustrating as a creator to not, I guess, just be welcomed back. Like, oh shit, you're back. Like, great. Fucking cool, man. We've been waiting for this. Like, just, you know, I figured for the amount of grief I was given for not producing the show for basically a year that I would be like, you know, I'm not saying people should be rolling out the red carpet here or anything, but I thought maybe I'd get more than a handful of messages about it, you know, whatever, it's fucking fine. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to promote it. We're going to have it keep growing. And yeah, that's just simply what we're going to do. Anyway, guys, you already received your code word for the week. I expect you to be using it on social media, commenting on things, this, that, the other. So you have your code word. If you don't have it, you need to go back this week to this week's episodes. You need to find it. The end. Okay, and give me your IRL interaction, your 1 week in-person interaction. Do that for me. It's very important. The producer and Scooter and I work very hard on this, and the least you can do is give us your IRL. And if you don't know what that is, you're not listening enough. We'll be right back after these messages.
Can't get enough of Jester Dooms? Check out his other show, It's Doomsday Podcast, available on all podcast platforms. That's It's Doomsday Podcast.
Back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. All right, so, and, you know, the theme of the week here, let's just continue on with kind of where we've been at. All right? With the ICE and immigration stuff or whatever, we're just going to keep on trucking with this because things just keep coming out in the media, and I keep finding them to be very interesting. Federal payments to sanctuary cities to be suspended on February 1st. So on the Epic Times, President Donald Trump on Tuesday said that the federal government will suspend payments to so-called sanctuary cities that defy federal immigration enforcement. Starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities, Trump said during a speech in Detroit, referencing jurisdictions whose policies prohibit local authorities from cooperating with federal immigration agents. Dun, dun, dun. Trump said that such cities do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary, he says. Since reclaiming the Oval Office, Trump has made immigration enforcement a priority for his administration and already made similar bids to defund sanctuary jurisdictions, but so far has been blocked from doing so in federal courts. Trump's latest comment on the issue comes as Trump faces increasing opposition in Democratic-led areas to his immigration policy, particularly in the wake of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement-involved fatal shooting of a protester in Minneapolis. The defunding move is expected to face challenges in the court as courts have ruled the president's authority to rescind congressionally approved funding is limited by law. And it is, but I also think that there's other ways to start defunding a city. What if you would decide to fucking impose tariffs on a state? Can you do that? Can you do that? Can we just make these states pay tariffs? Yeah, it's fine. You want to play ball? We're going to make you pay more money to play the game. Like, maybe we could do that. I don't know. In April, a court prohibited a push by Trump to rescind funding for jurisdictions deemed to be sanctuaries. In his order, federal judge William H. OVERREACH of the U.S. District Court of Northern District of California sided with the plaintiffs San Francisco, Santa Clara, and 14 other cities that would be affected by executive orders to strip federal taxpayer funding from them. I'm all for, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all for taking the funding, okay? Fuck that. If you're not going to cooperate with the federal government, you should not get federal funding, period. Like the fucking end. And I'll tell you what, the thing that really gets under my skin, really chaps my ass with all this is if it was me or you that were like, nope, we're going to go against the grain and we're going to put our foot down and say, nope, we would go to jail. J-A-L-E, jail. Okay? And that would be the end of us. We'd be done. It would be over. Like if I simply said, you know what, I'm not here for my state's tax policies. I don't feel like I should pay highway tax to run my vehicle on the road. Guess what? They're not going to give me my tag. If I run my vehicle, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to have fines imposed if I don't pay those fines. I'm going to Jalle, jail. Okay? That's what would happen. So anyway, in his order, federal judge William H. Horrick of the District of Columbia for the Northern District of California said with the plaintiffs, so we already read that. Horrick tied the ban to broad separation of powers principles, the spending clause of the Constitution, and the Fifth Amendment's due process requirements. In quotations, the challenge sections to withhold, freeze, or condition federal funding the challenged sections to withhold, freeze, or condition federal funding appropriated to localities by Congress violate the Constitution's separation of powers, principles, and spending clause, and the Fifth Amendment to extend that they are unconstitutionally vague and violate due process, Horrick wrote. Okay? At the time, Horrick barred Trump from implementing any funding cuts to such cities pending further litigation. In August, Horrick sustained his order, ruling that the administration could not pull funding to Boston, Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, and 30 other cities and counties dubbed sanctuaries by the administration solely as a result of those policies. The renewed push to defund such cities fits into the Trump administration's larger goal of stopping illegal immigration and carrying out what the president has said would be the largest deportation operation in American history. In 2017, during his first term, Trump signed Executive Order 13768, which would have stripped funding from jurisdictions considered sanctuaries for illegal immigrants. The executive order was based on ensuring compliance with the U.S. Code subsection 1373, which bars a federal, state, or local government entity or official from prohibiting or in any way restricting any government entity or official from sending or receiving from information regarding the citizenship or immigration status, lawful or unlawful, of any individual. Another executive order issued by Trump during this term was EO 14158, ordered the Attorney General and the Department of Homeland Security to evaluate and undertake any lawful actions to ensure that so-called sanctuary jurisdictions which seek to interfere with the lawful exercise of federal law enforcement operations do not receive access to federal funds. With that being said, it seems to me like he's been pre-gaming this, does it not? That's what I would think. I would think that he is pre-gaming it. That's how it's looking to me. What do you guys think? Anyway, to continue on here, let's see here. You know what? We'll just take a break. We'll be right back after the break.
Jester from It's Doomsday Podcast and the Doom Daily Show here. Do you ever find yourself overloaded with way too much information? Too many logins, too many passwords, too many websites for stuff you like? Yeah, I'm the same way. You don't have to worry about that with the Doom Daily Show and It's Doomsday Podcast. Let's make it simple. Just visit linktree.com/JesterDooms. Add it to your bookmarks. That way, when you need to find the right information, it's right there, under a tap of your finger or a click of your mouse. Go to linktree.com/JesterDooms. Get it, got it, done. Remember, no one has all the answers, but this will provide you with a place to start. linktree.com/JesterDooms. And now, on with the conversation. And here's Jester.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everywhere on social media, at Jester_Dooms. The website, jestersvoice.com. Go there, check it out. All right. Attorney General Pam Bondi has issued a directive defining a sanctuary city as a state or local jurisdiction that refused to comply with 8 U.S.C. subsection 1373, refused to certify compliance with subsection 1373, or willfully fail to comply with other applicable federal immigration laws. However, the implementation of EO 13768 and EO 14159 has been blocked due to OVERREACH's ruling. Without a higher court overturning OVERREACH's ruling, any move to defund sanctuary jurisdictions would be in contravention of law. Well, there it is. There it is. I feel like how can I put this? Fuck them. Fuck them. You should not be able to go against what the federal government's doing and still receive funding. You shouldn't be able to make up your own rules, laws, and regulations that negate what the federal government is trying to accomplish and still get your funding. Fuck that. Defund them all. Defund them all. You know, and you know, here's the fucking reality to this, and this is where I think us taxpayers need to be like, whoa. Enough is enough. Let's stop fucking around. Okay? Why is my federal tax money going into a pool to fund cities that I don't agree with what they're doing? Maybe they're, and not just the immigration standpoint, but like, what is this all going to fund? Like, where is my money going? I got to work and pay taxes for that money to go to where exactly? There's things in this world that, like, if I see a bum on the corner and he asks me for $1, I'm not giving him that dollar, but he might be getting $1 from me from whatever programs he's on that I'm funneling my federal tax income into. You get what I'm saying? So I don't agree with that. So we as taxpayers, couldn't we say like, hey, no, we don't want our money going there, like as a whole? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is, it's such criminalistic behavior. And this is one thing now that goes back to every other thing that takes place in the media. Okay? It's fucking deflection. And this is the crisis of 2026. This is it. And it's going to get worse. Okay? I wouldn't doubt us seeing some very crazy shit here soon. Like sanctuary cities actually fighting against ICE agents. Like banning ICE officials from coming into certain cities, putting up blockades, roadblocks, saying, no, you can't come in. Mayor's orders. City council said no. The mayor doesn't want you here. Or even going as far as deploying, like, see, this is like what's weird is, okay, so you cannot deploy the National Guard to go against the federal government. That's not how it works. Even though it's a state entity, they still have to answer to the National Guard. Or I'm sorry, they have to answer to the federal government, right? So the way it works is the National Guard answers to their state's governor, okay? And they get activated for things like emergencies, natural disasters, things of this nature, or if there is a war going on, they get activated. Some guys might get deployed, some guys might stick around, some guys might occupy and secure bases. It's like they can deploy, okay? But they don't deploy to go overseas under governor order. They deploy to go overseas based on what the commander-in-chief says, all right? That's how that works, okay? So now, you have something that a lot of people don't know about, and that is the state guard, aka state-ran militias. Not every state has one. They've kind of dissipated over the years. But there is absolutely no goddamn federal regulation over these entities. But you know who is over these entities? The fucking governors of the state. State militias are just that, state militias that are controlled by the state. And like I said, there's a lot of states that still have them. A lot of these states are coastal states. I don't think there's too many that are landlocked anymore. There's a few, but there's not many. Now, the beauty of the state-ran militia is the governor can throw funding at these guys for whatever he sees fit. If he tells these guys, hey, you guys are looking a little light with, vehicles. You know what? We're going to issue you guys, 50 Humvees. Here you go. The governor can do that. Or the state guards can simply put in a resource request and ask for items like, hey, we need 1,500 MREs. Hey, we need 800 cases of water. Hey, we need 25 chainsaws and 8 sticks of dynamite. Like, they could put in whatever resource request they want, whether it's granted or not. No one fucking knows until they actually get it or not. But what I'm saying is, and this is why I'm saying this, wouldn't it be some crazy shit if you saw the state guard get activated to secure borders and roadways to prevent ICE officials from coming in? Wouldn't that be some fucking shit? I mean, it would be a really goddamn bad day for the state militias. It would be a fucking horrible day. And if you listen to the show and you're with a state militia, you're like, nah, man, we'd fuck shit up. Sir, you're sorely mistaken. They will push your shit in so far, you'll be spitting out corn. Like that, I mean, the end. Now, I don't think anything would come down to that. But wouldn't that be some crazy shit to see? Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, producer Scooter here. And if you've made it this far, I just want to commend you for diligent listening skills. But also, I want you to take a moment since you've come this far with us. Send an email to doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Let us know where you're listening from. If you have any ideas for something you'd like Jester to address or talk about, send us an email. That's doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. Once again, I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everyone on social media @Jester_Dooms. That's me. Over here in the corner, what the fuck is he wearing? It's pink. It's a tutu. It's the lovely tutu wearing producer Scooter. He's over there in the corner doing a little dance for me. It's very scary and bizarre. Anyway, moving forward. Guys, I do want you to think, though, about the potential implications that this could have on us as citizens, okay? Because there are a few. Let's talk about a few of those, shall we? So, number one is restricted travel, all right? If there's a lot of protests going on, if there's a lot of civil unrest going on, this could very well inhibit travel, and that could also fuck with the supply chain because trucks aren't making it to the grocery store to get the items on the shelf. So in turn, you may suffer from that. Also, something that I would think could be I don't want to say a strong possibility, but a kind of likely possibility is things that are the norm moving forward can be delayed, right? So maybe things like sporting events, high school graduations, things like this, just kind of the day-to-day things that you expect to take place as the year rolls on. Some of these things you might see be delayed. I don't think a high school is going to cancel a graduation, but if there's a lot of protesting going on, if there's a lot of ICE agents in your area, they might postpone sporting events, graduations, parades, things of that nature. All right. Something else I would think that we will see as this rolls on here is I think we're going to see airlines start raising ticket prices. The reason why is because I think there's going to be a breaking point where a lot of these people come forward and just say, send me back. And I think that's going to come in the form of a lot of air travel. So if you have an illegal that came up from south of the border and he's living in Maine and they got to get him back, you think they're going to send one guy driving in a car 30 hours to the fucking border? No, they're going to put that guy on a plane with somebody to make sure he gets where he's going. And who knows how many guys it gets on that plane with that individual. Who knows how that process works, because I do not. So I look for air tickets to hike in price as this rolls on. There's, at one point in time, I thought that we might see our jails get overrun, like, city and county jails get overrun, just for the idea and the sake of like holding people until they can get them back across the border, especially if they have criminal history or if they're known for running. But I have yet to hear anything about that. And that may be something that's taken place. I'll have to make a phone call today and talk to somebody that works for a jail in a very large city in this country that's a personal friend and see if that is the case if they haven't experienced a hike of illegal immigrants being held there? I have to ask that question because I feel like he'd know the answer to that. Yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that as well. The other thing that I say that, and I've talked about this before on the show, but something else to expect as well, is do expect to see a slowdown to a point in the construction industry, in the farming industry in this country. Expect a slowdown, okay? Because if you don't think these contractors are hiring these illegals to go out and knock out more jobs and underbid shit and get shit done faster, you're fucking nuts. Because they are. They absolutely 100% fucking are. Okay? Now, where I'm at with the situation is I don't think it's right to hire anybody under the radar for any fucking thing. I don't believe that that's okay. But at the same time, these contractors were using this to keep the economy going and keep things stimulated, whether you want to believe that or not, whether you like that or not, that's the way it is. Now, I don't really have any kind of sympathy for anybody that's going out and doing things illegitimately. Like if I had to go get a business license, pay an accountant to get my employees paid, go through all the processes of W-2ing them correctly, paying the taxes correctly, maintaining business license insurance, paying workers' comp on all my employees. If I have to go through all that process, and that means I have to bid a job for $10,000, and this guy comes over here and can underbid me for, say, $7,500 because he doesn't have the same expenses I do, but he's still making the same profit at the end of the day, that is fucking bullshit. That is, in fact, bullshit. He should go to JALLE jail. He should. But that's, that's my opinion. I know some people will disagree with me on that, but that is my opinion. I don't think that if you're flying under the radar and you're doing shit like that, I don't think you should not be held accountable. But at the same time, there are these people out there that hold these beliefs that, these people are already here. They need to eat. They need to work. They need a place to live. Like, what are we supposed to do with them? The federal government's not taking care of the situation. And you're fucking right. They're not. So I think maybe there's a line. If you employ, I think there is a line. Whether, are you illegally profiting? Like, it was there malicious intent? Were you trying to help this person, or were you trying to get over on other contractors kind of thing? Maybe that's what it should be with malicious intent. Does that make sense? All right. The other thing I'm seeing coming is I am thinking gun sales are going to start being on the rise again. I'm thinking the ammo sales are going to be on the rise again. And I think that curfews are going to start being instituted in certain cities around the country. Maybe not all of them, but definitely some of them. I think the curfews are going to start happening. And I swear to God, I already read there was a curfew in one area. I already read that there was a couple in a city, like different jurisdictions, something to that effect, that they were already starting to institute curfews because these agents were moving around. I don't know. Maybe it's something I read, or maybe it's something I dreamed. I don't know. But I remember hearing something about it. Maybe somebody told me about it in passing. But I don't have an article in front of me to read off which cities they were. But I do look for more curfews to start, or more if it has happened and what I'm remembering is correct. So a lot of information comes into this brain every day, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard for it to stick around. Sometimes it wanders out the damn door. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for taking the time today to tune into the Doom Daily Show and listen. Don't forget, share this out. Leave us a review wherever you listen to the show. And we will see you guys back here on Thursday for another exciting episode of the Doom Daily Show. Producer Scooter, if you would, hit that button, sir.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.